We've had a range of bills that have gone through on wide-ranging debates.
Yeah.
This is not one of them. Now, we had two speeches either side, and I think that's fair enough to set the scene. We've had one excellent example of how one focuses on the material and introduces other points, but we are on part one, clauses 4, 5 and 6, which are technical aspects of the bill, and I expect speakers from now on to be within the Speaker's rulings and standing orders for a committee stage debate. I call the Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Absolutely, Mr Chairman, and I refer to Clause 4, the purpose of the Act. The purpose of this Act is to provide a framework for the regulation of the electricity industry. Well, the Minister gave a well-meaning but useless speech in the House, and I have to say, he's done it before. I can recall that Minister making such a speech, or a similar one anyway, with good intent, back in the 1990s. And the question I ask of him, where's Mad Max? Oh. Max Bradford. Oh. Because Max Bradford started this whole thing. And this is about managing Max's mad markets, quite frankly. Because Max said the markets with very little regulation would deliver long-term and secure and cheaper electricity for this country. I can remember the Honourable Nick Smith in the newspaper in Nelson saying he would bet a bottle of wine with me that prices in electricity would come down. I'm still waiting for the wine.
Where's the wine?
Look, Mr Chairman, the reality is that the government has at least acknowledged that they do need regulation to improve the situation. We tried, Mr Speaker, but we failed, I have to say. We didn't do what was necessary because we were trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Quite frankly, the integrated electricity system that we had in this country was disintegrated by Max Bradford on the basis that the market and competition would deliver more efficiency, more security, cheaper electricity into the future. And it may be the same officials there, and I'm sorry, I don't want to unfairly bring the officials into it, but we have to realise that we have a disintegrated market that has failed time and time again. And the basic problem, Mr Speaker, is that if you are a generator and no further investment in generation occurs, then demand, as it continues to increase, will simply drive up what you get for your existing generation. Makes good business sense. So why then do you invest in new generation until you reach a point at which there seems to be a bit of market reaction, that people are starting to get agitated, or the government gets agitated about the price they're paying for electricity? We accept electricity prices went up too much under us because we were trying to tinker with a failed market model. And now we've got the national government trying to do the same thing. That's why Labor does not support this bill, for a whole lot of reasons, Mr Speaker, and we've got a whole lot of speakers here who will go through those. The purpose of the bill, which is to regulate the electricity market, as I say, is a huge step forward for the national government, for Max Bradford, for Jerry Brownlee, the Honourable Jerry Brownlee, who was a member of the government that deregulated the electricity industry in this country, and it has failed to deliver security of supply, failed to deliver efficiency gains, which we see from time to time, failed to deliver affordable electricity to many, many New Zealanders. There are elderly people in their home today, Mr Chairman, who refuse to turn on their heater, who will be freezing in their homes because they're scared of what they have to pay for electricity. That is a failure. It's a failure of our system that should be integrated, that should have moved further down the renewables path, and we are lucky we have a big chunk of generation from renewables. But Mr Brownlee, of course, is absolutely committed to dig up more coal from the national parks, although he's backtracked on it for a moment, and to use thermal generation to drive the electricity generation forward even further. Well, rather than celebrating the switch from coal to gas, shouldn't we be going further into renewables, more geothermal, which he mentioned, more wind, more hydro, small hydro, Mr. Chairman. There are many, many ways that we can progress without using, I suggest, the gas that should be used for far more productive uses in this economy. To go back, Mr. Speaker, to the bill, because I accept your guidance here, the Minister referred to Dunedin. Well, one swallow does not a summer make. And I have to say that Dunedin has always been held up as the fine example of what competition can deliver to consumers. Well, there are not many other consumers around the country that have had the benefits of any true competition.
Yes, there are.
And no, there are not, Mr. Brownlee, and he knows that. Mr. Chairman.
Call the Honourable David Parker.
Mr. Chairman, can I first state